Hi there, my name's Rob and I have been positive, or I was positive for COVID 3 weeks ago. I joined the ranks of over 1 million people now who've gone through it. I was a mild case, it was fine. I'm alright, I'm 3 weeks on now. Unfortunately, my wife has also been positive, and we found out last week that both of our kids are positive as well. So, full house. At least we've all got it now. We've all had it, and touch wood, fingers crossed, we're all healthy, and we're mild cases. That's all it is. And you hear so much about mild cases, and on the news, and the only things you ever see that are bad are, of course, in the hospitals where you see people rigged up to ventilators and lots of beeping and terrifying, and that's the thing we're all terrified of, isn't it? It's being one of those people in hospital. But the majority of people, over 1.5 million people who've had COVID now, are mild cases, are not in hospital, and are now fine apparently. And I just wanted to tell you what it's like to have a mild case. As I say, I've been 3 weeks ago, I got the first symptoms, which was lack of smell and taste. 3 weeks on, I'm still exactly the same. But I'm a mild case because at least I'm not in hospital, at least I can breathe, at least I haven't got any other complications apart from aches and pains, and I can't taste and smell. You know, no big deal really. It is a big deal. It's a massive big deal. It's been amazing how losing your smell and taste for this period really does change your life. It makes you appreciate how every day all of us look forward to a cup of tea or a coffee or a cake or food, whatever it may be. I love food. It's one of my joys of life. I love cooking, I love eating, I love smelling, I love creating it. But for the past 3 weeks, my taste and smell is but a memory. And so it has have a massive effect on your life. And suddenly, every day, those things that you would look forward to, like I'll have a cup of coffee, the smell of bread baking, the simple things in life when you smell bacon sandwiches on the street are gone now. And it makes you realise how those little high points in life, particularly right now when we're in the middle of the COVID situation, those little high points in life give you these peaks of happiness. But I'm a mild case. I'm not dying, none of us are dying, but I've lost something of myself. But I'm still a mild case. And so we feel blasé about mild cases. Oh, it's fine, most people are fine, you're healthy and strong, you're not in the sort of the critical category, the vulnerable categories. I'll be fine, I'll only get it like a minor case. Well, I am that mild case. I'm like so many other hundreds of thousands of people right now who've lost something as a result. Another example of the mild case scenario is this room. This room was my isolation room for the 10 days after I found out that I was positive. I'm a dad, I've got 2 children and a gorgeous wife, and isolation is this room. Now, I appreciate that everyone's been in isolation for lockdown. We've all been through various degrees of isolation and being by yourself for your own protection. But my personal experience of it as a father and as a husband has been something I didn't expect it to be at all. To be laying here in that bed just behind me every night in the early days when I had the symptoms, just laying in bed, feeling your heartbeat, listening to your breathing. Every inhalation, is that a rattle? Is that a slight shortness of breath? How is this going to develop? But I'm only a mild case. I shouldn't worry. I'm healthy and strong. I should be fine. But you lay here and all you feel is your heartbeat. All you'll hear is every rattle of your breath thinking, is this it? Is this the onset? Someone tells you, oh, taste and smell, when that goes, that's the first symptom. That's just the beginning. And every second, every moment you're laying there by yourself, and believe me, 10 days by yourself, waiting for the worst to happen, is one of the most extraordinary feelings that you will ever feel in your life. But I'm a mild case, apparently, like 1.5 million other people. It's mild, it's fine, just blasé, just forget about it, it's no problem. It's easy. It is not easy. When you feel your heartbeat, you hear your breathing, you're watching yourself, you take your pulse rate, you're laying there, you're staring at the ceiling, and you're wondering, is this it? Is this as bad as it gets? And then you hear it in the background. You hear your son crying, your son who's scared, your wife who's in the hallway crying because she's scared, she doesn't know what's going to happen to her husband. Then she finds out she's positive. I'm scared, I'm doubly scared now. I can't give her a hug. I hear her crying beyond that door. I can't give her a hug. I hear my children trying to isolate from us because my wife has got it as well. What can you do as a parent? You want to hug your kids. You can't. When your wife is crying, you want to go and hug her. You want to make sure she's all right. You want to do the kids their food. You want to reassure them that everything's all right, but you can't leave. You've got to stay here. It's for their benefit to stop them getting it. But remember, this is a mild case. This is what it's like in these rooms, just stuck here. You hear your children, you hear them being bored because they got to isolate for 14 days now. And then your wife gets it and they got to isolate for more time. And then they get it. And they're worried, they're scared. I'm worried, I'm scared. My wife is worried, I'm scared. Yet we can't hug them. We can't hug each other. We can't do anything like that. You've just got this room. This is the mild case. This is the thing that we're blasé about when we go out and about and we think, how bad can it be? To this day, I still don't know how I got it. I wore a mask, I did the hand gel thing, did everything that's been advised, and I'm still wondering, how did I get it? I'm lucky I'm fine, apart from I've got no taste and smell. How bad can that be? It's awful. It's really awful. You have some days when you think you can smell something, you think you can taste something. You see the bread being baked, you see the chicken come out the oven, but you have no hunger anymore. You don't want to eat because you can't taste it. Eating now is just the process of the day. Eating now is something I have to do 3 times a day, just because I need the nutrition. Of course, I need to be healthy. I need to eat, but I don't enjoy it. In fact, some things, like when I did the funny video about tasting the wine, tasted like toothpaste mixed with gravy. It makes you want to retch. This is how it affects you. This is mild case. All I can say is be careful. Don't ever be blasé. Mild case is not mild at all. Mild case gets you up here. You get worried for yourself. You worry for your crying children. You worry for your wife, who's got to try and do everything because you're locked in this room. Then as a father, I'm worried because my wife is locked in the room next door. She can't deal with our children. How are we going to homeschool them? How are we going to make their food? How are we going to stop their tears? But this is the mild case. Everyone potentially could be a mild case, but it's not mild at all. Not on so many levels. It is not a cold. It is not the flu. Mild case of COVID is isolation. It's so much more than just lockdown. It's so much more than just tier 3 restrictions. This is the mild case. Don't take any risks. Don't be blasé. The way it hits you personally is phenomenal. I had no idea it would be like this. Please, look after your family, look after your wife, look after your kids, look after your friends. Be careful. Mild case is not something just to ignore just because you're not in hospital. Mild case seriously, seriously affects you. My kids now have not been to school for 3 weeks. My son the other day was crying. He wants to go to school. Daddy, I can't wait to go to school. When can I go to school? Hopefully next week. Hopefully your isolation will be finished. And then he gets a positive result. The mild case continues, and you console your son, and you have to console your daughter to know that it's going to be at least a month of us being here in this mild case.